You're live. Let's look at my phone to see if we're live. Well, it's not showing up on my phone yet. It says it will in like 23 seconds. So this might be out there. This might not be out there.
Okay.
How's your night going?
Good.
Yeah?
I'm happy the kids are in bed and we got to watch Big Brother.
Yes, me too. All right, let's see if this pops up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are we on there? Okay. It says there's one person.
Hey, one person, can you see us?
I think the one person. Okay. Hello?
We aren't sure.
Let's see.
So apparently, yeah, right? You got to turn that down. I cannot listen to myself.
Okay. We are here. We are live. We're here to talk about Big Brother. And there's another person in here. So you are awesome. Thank you for joining us. And here's how this works, guys. This is our second Big Brother episode. It's me and my wife, Sherry, talking about it. I am Anchor Pete. And we really love audience participation from you guys. And someone just left too. But if anyone comes in and starts watching this, if you want to say something in the credits, oh man, in the comments, we would love that. So, okay, somehow even I left the chat. That's crazy.
Why don't we talk about what happened on Big Brother the past 2 episodes?
Okay.
Which was last night and tonight.
That sounds good. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
So, tonight was eviction night, and spoilers. There's going to be spoilers abound for stuff that's been on the show.
Yeah. Don't watch this if you don't want to know.
Yeah. So that's been on the show, and then stuff that maybe even happened behind the scenes. But Bailey was evicted. It was a unanimous vote, and everyone voted her out. And at this point, there are 11 cast members left, house guests left, right? And it's interesting because I was doing the count with the vote. I was writing down everybody's name who voted, and it was just like Bailey, right? Well, anyway, I noticed that out of the 11 house guests that are left, 6 of them belong to the committee. So at this point, the committee is more than half of the cast.
Yeah, they're dominant. They've systematically been wiping everyone out, which has been boring. And they also keep winning head of household, which has also been boring.
Yeah. Well, so that is the thing that we've been dealing with, is that the show has been kind of boring because the people that you kind of expect to win have been winning, and they've been putting up the people you expect. So it has been kind of boring. But I would say that this week in particular did seem kind of different, and it was interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, it was a little more exciting.
Yeah, and I wanted to start this episode by saying, man, talk about the worst possible time to need someone to give you a towel. And the reason why I brought that up is because Ian, right? He's the one that said that, and that's because he was stuck in this really awkward moment. It was beautifully filmed, beautifully edited. He went to go get take a shower, and while he was doing that, Davon and Christmas had this intense argument.
Actually, he went and took the shower while they were already arguing. Like, they were there first, and he chose to come in and take a shower at this moment. I don't know if he's just really awkward and doesn't think that maybe this isn't a good time, or is he doing it on purpose? I don't know, but it's funny.
Yeah. There definitely was not a lot of social awareness right there, right? And so anyway, but the thing is, that made me think about something. Big Brother, there usually is almost once per season a big blow up, right?
At least.
And so I think in the past, right, because you've seen all the seasons, or most of them, right? Was it a bit more like trashy and more dramatic?
Yeah, it was more like kind of Jerry Springer, a lot of like screaming at each other. I mean, people outright hated each other's guts. This season, the past few seasons, people have been more decent. Everyone's saying I'm sorry to Cody about his grandfather passing, and I think if they aren't sincere and genuine, they sure do seem like they are. And this is, even after he may not be their alliance member or have put them up, people are forgiving. I think we have a more savvy group of people who realize you can't go around hating people who you might have to work with later on down the road.
Yeah. So, like, the reason why I brought up the whole thing about it being trashy before is I think that, like, Big Brother has kind of evolved, right? I think that, like, you know, it maybe was a bit more trashy because when reality TV came out, it was a little bit more like, see, we get to film people being jerks, right? It was like Jerry Springer, like you said, but also like The Bachelor was kind of more trashy too, I think.
Yeah, and like Janelle is actually more from that era.
Right.
The season she was on, people would be screaming at each other, and her half of the house would hate the other half of the house. They wouldn't even talk to each other for weeks. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty extreme.
Yeah. So, and I think that's kind of like derived from like The Real World too, which was sort of inspiration for Big Brother, right? The Real World show.
I don't know. I think Big Brother's based on like
British.
I was thinking the Netherlands, but I'm not positive. I don't know. So
Okay.
someone could probably, tell us that easily. I did think this was last night in particular, Wednesday night's episode was a particularly like kind of heartwarming. Maybe that's not the right word, but I saw some goodness in people that I'm not used to seeing.
Yes.
Let's talk about Tyler.
Well, so you say heartwarming, but I feel like it actually set up like a tragedy. It was like watching a real life tragedy happening.
Okay.
Because, you want to talk about Tyler? I can kind of just explain it real quick.
Sure.
Basically, Tyler at some point started to have a lot of emotional duress, and he felt like it was his fault that Bailey and Devon were in the on the block, and that they were kind of being targeted by the rest of the house. So he went up to Bailey and Devon and he said, I feel like this is my fault. He started crying, and he said, you're playing for something more. I'm playing to win, but I don't want to like sabotage people. And he offered to tell Christmas that he put himself on the block, right? Or like put me on the block instead.
Right. He seemed to have genuine. I believe they were genuine. We cannot know for sure, but I suspect it was genuine. I never saw him act that way in his season. I mean, I'm going out on a limb here guessing at what's going on with him, but I sort of think apparently in real life he's very in love with Angela. They've been together ever since the end of their season. They haven't spent more than 3 days apart. And I just feel like maybe his heart is opened up in a way that it wasn't before. And it seems like he's not happy with the image he has from his season on Big Brother, which is of being an excellent manipulator and liar. Yeah. So it seems like he wanted to be different this time. Yeah,
very good point. And so, he was trying to do the noble thing, and unfortunately it backfired. And you see, Sherry had some good observations about Bailey before that scene even happened. She was saying that Bailey, she kind of just sees the negative side of people, and even when people do good deeds for her, she kind of just sees like it as manipulation, or she sees like the negative aspect.
Yeah, I mean, I put probably way too much thought into Bailey's psyche, but she seems to like always think someone's out to get her. And instead of seeing that maybe they're trying to help her and they're maybe not using the exact appropriate wording, she can't get past that exact appropriate wording to see the good intention behind it. So she's always, I mean, I don't know what she's like in real life, but she's always going to be shooting herself in the foot on Big Brother. I mean, not now that she got voted off, but she's always going to be, getting upset with the wrong person, someone who's actually trying to help her. And I think in this case, Tyler was. And what did she do? She wanted his head on a silver platter. I'm just so frustrated with her. Who else is trying to help you like that, girl?
Well, it almost was Shakespearean, I thought, because at one point it seemed like Tyler was going to go up to Christmas and say, I want to go home. And Devon then thought, okay, well, we really need to put this on Tyler. We need to get Tyler out of the house. And so she started to talk to Christmas, right? And then Christmas talked to Tyler, and like through Devon's manipulations, it made Tyler regret trying to do something nice for Bailey. And so it changed his whole mindset.
Well, Devon was trying to like further her case for her and Bailey to stay by saying, hey, Christmas will align with you if you keep us and put Tyler up. But that just didn't go very far, because the truth is, and she told Christmas this, that Bailey was somehow getting upset with Tyler for offering to go up on the block in her place. And Christmas, I thought cleverly, thought that doesn't sound right. Someone's offering to help you and you're upset with them.
Yeah.
And she just chalked it up as another reason to get rid of Bailey. And I agree with her.
Yeah. Well, so that brings up something that kind of bothers me too about this whole scenario, right? So Christmas, her motivations are based on the game, right? And her motivation is because of her alliance, right? Like she's basically nominating these two because that's what her alliance, the committee, wants her to do.
I don't know that they told her to do that. They never showed her have much of a conversation with anyone where they're like, I want you to put these people up.
Yeah.
She just seemed to like that's what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. We don't watch the After Dark stuff.
Yeah, we don't watch the live feeds, but we do know a few things about the live feeds, and we want to share them with you tonight, just in case you don't watch them, because it kind of shows you a little bit more. It gives you some insight into what's going on in the house. But what I was going to say about Christmas, though, I think that the general consensus by the committee was that they wanted Davon and Bailey out. And whether she got it like through osmosis or they directly told her, I think she was motivated by them. And so she used this kind of false thing of, oh, well, I know that Davon is Bailey's untouchable, so we have to get rid of her. And it was just so fake, and it just rang. It was like hollow, you know. And I think
right,
that's what
she would have been
upset her.
going after them, whether they were. I can't stand saying ride or die. I really hate it.
Yeah.
Whatever, they were going to go to the end together. She would have gone after them anyway. So to kind of pin it on that was false. But she has to say something.
Yeah.
You know, she has to explain it. What I'm wondering is why Davon or Bailey didn't confront her and say, there are a lot of other duos in this house. Why aren't you going after them? I never heard anyone ask that question. And I think that would have put Christmas on the spot. I mean,
right.
Because the reason is she's in alliance with most of them. And she never even had to explain why she protected Enzo and Ian and all these other people. I mean, like you said, there's 11 people left.
Yeah. Well, it just like, to me, this goes back to what we said, like in our last episode, or what I said, you know, it seems like, how come people aren't more savvy about this stuff? Like when they go up to someone and someone kind of gives them that kind of wishy-washy, like, I'm not aligned with anybody, or I don't know what's going on. It's like, you know, clearly you do. Like, you've played Big Brother once before. You've watched Big Brother. You know that at this point, pretty much everyone is aligned with someone.
Well, why did Davon and Bailey? I mean, Kaser told them that. I think even Janelle was talking about that. They didn't listen.
Right.
That's why I kind of don't have too much sympathy for them.
Right.
I don't know. I did think it was, you know, like I said, I was kind of interested in what's going on with Tyler and why he would act that way. And he's my pick to win the game. So I was kind of like, oh my God, you know, I mean, I don't have money on this or anything, but bragging rights, right? So, but of course he stuck around because Christmas put the kibosh on his kind-hearted ways and was like, no, it's bad for my game. And I mean, I think she suspects he might have regretted it as well.
Yeah.
She just was like, no, flat out, it's my decision. What'd you think of that?
I think that she's like one of those types where they get the power and then they're all like, I'm so cool for having the power, right? And I think that, like, she said a lot of dramatic things, and that's like a dramatic thing to say. It's my house, I get to say, you know, and she
did in that moment, but did she say it just to Tyler, just to make him feel better about not having to make that decision? Like kind of taking the weight off of him? Maybe saying, you know what, it's not your decision. I'm going to take it upon myself and say, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
That was more my impression, because I actually enjoyed her reign as head of household. I don't love who she put up.
Yeah.
But I thought she was pretty decent considering both those girls got really mad at her.
Ooh, that was hard to watch.
It was hard to watch. And
I felt like Ian in the shower.
I know why Bailey and Davon are upset with her, but I don't think they went about... They said it the right way. I think they just should have confronted her and said, why us? Why us? Why not some other people? And they just, like I said, never asked that question. It drove me kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Why not Danny and Nicole, you know?
Certain players don't do that. But then there's other players that are thinking about this stuff. And there's one thing that you might not know if you just watch the CBS version of the show, right? Not the live feeds. There was drama going on between like Ian and Bailey too. So much to the point where Ian wanted to evict himself from the house. Not only did Ian want to evict himself from the house, but Enzo at one point was talking about getting himself evicted from the house too.
Is it because Bailey upset them so much? We don't really know. We just read about this.
Yeah. So Ian is a pretty smart guy. He's pretty clever, and he is asking these questions that we're talking about, right? And so he started to kind of reach out to people that he knew was like they were out of sight of this alliance, right?
Yeah.
And Bailey was one of these people. And when
big mistake.
Right, and when
she has proved you cannot go to her and try to like discuss anything without her, getting offended about something.
Right. So as things started to kind of come back, Ian kind of scrambled and he lied a little bit, and Bailey kind of confronted him, and they had a confrontation, and that made him want to evict himself. And maybe it might have happened because if you watched Wednesday night's episode, there was this whole sequence where Ian was having like chest pains and he was having a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, he had to sit out the veto competition. He wasn't feeling well, and I wonder if it's a result of all this tension with Bailey. But they didn't air it, so we don't know exactly what happened.
And they might air it at a future date. But it just shows you that there is like this tension that goes around behind the house, and there's people talking. There's so much stuff going on every single day, and they can only condense it into 3 like 50-minute shows, right, per week. But we don't know who the head of household is now after this eviction, right?
Yes.
So
last we saw they're hanging on a wall, the endurance thing. I can guess, but we have no idea who's going to win.
Yeah, based on some movie or something too, Overdrive or something, or what?
Power Trip.
Power Trip. Oh,
who gets the power?
That sounds great.
It made sense.
That probably has like like John Cena in it or some wrestler. I have no idea what it might be.
Steven Seagal.
Steven? Oh no.
I just aged myself right there.
Yeah. I don't think that's Steven Seagal in it, but but what I was gonna say was, who would you like to win HOH?
Ian.
Okay. How
about you?
Do you think he's gonna hang on the wall?
No.
No, I know.
But I would love if he did, because I think he might do something interesting. I do think he can be pushed around. I think he's got a little bit of fear of confrontation, but I think he understands what's going on maybe more than most of them.
Yeah, and I think another thing that we read that happened behind the scenes was that Ian and Nicole had a little bit of tension too. And they were really close, but I think now they're not.
I don't know. When he was sick, she was sitting next to him, checking on him.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who else would be kind of fun? Danny, because she might blow up her own alliance.
Yeah.
And I'm just all on board for that. I'd love to see that,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm sick of that alliance running everything.
Yeah.
I think she's kind of, speaking of power hungry, like, I think it'll go to her head real quick.
Yeah.
But maybe for the best, I just think she'd do something interesting and unexpected. Can I say one more thing about the goodwill that was going on Wednesday night?
Please do.
I want to talk about the very first episode. Nicole F. cried to the camera and said how much she appreciated Davon casting a vote her way to win the $1 million in her season. And she talked to Davon about it. Davon kind of brushed her off and didn't take her seriously. But Nicole seemed sincere to the camera. And I wondered if, she was sincere. I was questioning Nicole's sincerity this season. But in the veto competition, she gave her $5,000 to Davon, which was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
But a very kind thing to do. Davon was, speaking for all of us when she was like, wow, I don't think I would have done the same, but thank you.
Yeah, and she ended up getting that, like, what was it called? Like the sloppy tart or whatever?
Yeah, this she had to wear, it's like a cereal box or something.
Yeah.
It's pretty ugly.
It was pretty awkward. And
it's got hair. That's what's strange, too. It's got weird fake hair.
Yeah, and what was funny about this episode was that, it's not funny, but like Cody's grandfather died. And so there's this real sad moment where he found out his grandfather died. And they showed everybody kind of trickle in, and the editing kind of made it real soft. And then
it was like a wake.
Right. And then all of a sudden she just walks in with this sloppy tart.
Yeah. It's like, how can you?
Yeah.
How can you take this girl seriously?
Too much, man. Yeah.
It wouldn't have been funny if someone like Enzo was wearing that.
Right. And so, like, even that thing with Cody, it's like you were saying, these are good people in there. They're real kind to him. And I feel bad for him, too, because, he seemed like he was really close to his grandfather.
Yeah, it's a shame.
So for me, who would I want to win head of household? Not really anybody from the committee. I don't even want Danny to win. I want someone not in the freaking committee, because hasn't it been like every week someone from the committee has won?
Yes.
Yeah,
how about Davon?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, she would blow some things up.
That would be awesome.
I hope.
I kind of doubt it, but
I like her a lot, but I don't know if she is a good enough player compared to these other people. Like, I don't know if she is onto them the way she should be. Yeah. I want her to be. And she's definitely, maybe she'll get fan favorite or something.
I think she might this season, yeah. And she had some great freaking lines that
she's
earned
funny.
her fan favorite. Like she said, Christmas is canceled. Everybody's getting cold. Yeah, she said a whole bunch of things. Yeah, so it was more interesting, but unfortunately, it was kind of interesting because of negative things, like the pretty intense fight that was going on. And
what did you think of their fight?
Well, I always just kind of cringe when people fight, no matter what, right?
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
Yeah, but I get frustrated because I know both people's perspectives because they're telling you it in the diary room, and I wish that people could like make better decisions in the moment so that like they could look better. But everyone kind of looked bad. You end up looking bad no matter what. I think when you get to that level of intensity.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, of course. But I thought at first, before they resorted to yelling and storming out of the room, I thought there was like a decent conversation going on between Devon and Christmas. But Christmas was just kind of clinging to her story of it's because you said it was she was your final two person.
Untouchable.
Yeah. She kept clinging to that, and Devon knew it was bullshit, but Devon didn't, I feel like, use the proper words to like kind of get her. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yes. And I know it's emotional, and I'm not saying I would do any better. It's easy to talk about all this. I hope that's clear. It's easy to talk about all this and have observations. We aren't saying we would do any better in Big Brother. People would probably be lying to me all over the place, and I would cry and not know.
I think that like, and this could be our little thing to wrap it up. I actually constantly think about like what it'd be like for me to play Big Brother, because we've talked about me going to play on Big Brother.
Pete should be on Big Brother.
I'm kind of a sociable guy. I usually get along with people, right? But like,
you get in some male alliance.
I probably would get in some alliance with some dudes, and they probably have somebody from New York, and I could bond with them there. And there's someone from Texas, I could bond with them. But then I think about the fact that like, if you go to the bathroom, like people can hear you. They showed it this season, like Ian, like went in the bathroom. And
I think it was Enzo.
Okay, well, whoever, and everyone's like laughing, and like that's a freaking nightmare. Like at work, I don't even go to the bathroom at work sometimes. I'm afraid someone's gonna come in the break room and hear me in the bathroom.
I think you could go in the head of household. I mean,
yeah, but like, I have to be good with those people.
Like, people must go. They have to. They all live there. Imagine when it's like the full house.
Yes. So that's my main fear about Big Brother was like, how would I go to the bathroom? Right. And then the other thing is that you take a shower, and it looks like you have to take a shower in your bathing suit, and that's just awkward as hell.
I don't think so. I think you can take off your clothes.
I mean, maybe
they have that door that goes up to here.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe you take off your bathing suit like real quick and like rinse yourself off and then pull it back on. But
no. Why do you think they need a towel? It's to cover their.
I mean, I've seen people in bathing suits in there, and like that just kind of. I want like if they had a separate bathroom where it's like you swipe the key and you can go in there and then you come out, but like everything, it's like people can talk right next to the freaking shower stall.
It's a very social bathroom. Yeah, it's kind of a locker room situation in there.
I think there's a freaking camera in the bathroom stall, like for security reasons too.
I'm sure if you're going to be on the show, you have to just let it go.
It's a nightmare.
You have to be okay being seen naked and all kinds of stuff. Probably.
God. Yeah. So I guess
$500,000.
Yeah. So I guess there's that.
It's incentive.
I would try to get along with everybody, but then I don't know if I'm good if like people straight out ask me like a question I had to lie to. I think I'd kind of fumble.
Yeah, you have to get better at that.
Yeah.
They have to be expert liars. Maybe that's not completely true. There's probably examples of people who. I think Casey, when she won. By the way, I want to correct myself. Last episode, I was saying there was only like 3 girls. There's actually 6 girls.
Oh, okay.
But that's still not that many.
6 girl winners?
Yeah, that's
out of 22 seasons.
Yeah, it's still bad.
That's pretty bad.
But it's better than 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Casey is one of the ones I forgot. And I think she got away with winning and not really lying or manipulating people too much. But Tyler took her there. Let's be honest.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So that is pretty much our conversation. Like I said, we try to keep these real brief, like less than a half hour. Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, Sherry's wearing her night clothes. I actually haven't gotten out of my work clothes yet. And look at this. This is crazy, right? I'm wearing a coat, and it's freaking early September in Texas. How crazy is that? It was cold.
I put on flannel.
Yeah, it was cold today, man. So anyway, I need to go to bed.
I do want to say, did you notice? I don't know if you get into like what everyone's wearing.
I'm big, not normally, no, except for their hippie tards.
Okay.
Sloppy
so maybe
tards.
You're the wrong person to talk to. Maybe someone here has noticed this, but Tyler is wearing like a suit that's including shorts a matching shirt and shorts set that's like tropical in theme. It's pink with trees, and I'm just like, what are you wearing? I can't help it. It's quite distracting. He's anyway.
Yeah, well, he lost a lot of weight too, it looks, right? He's gotten like thinner and thinner, right? I think
Yeah, they were talking about that.
Yeah.
He's having some trouble.
Yeah.
But maybe he'll get his head back in the game. He said he's going to try.
Yeah, for
Angela. He wants to win the money for Angela.
His co-jewelry line partner.
I guess that's where the money goes.
Yes. Well, so thank you so much for watching. This is our second episode. We're going to do this twice a week. Thursday nights, after Wednesday and Thursday's episode of Big Brother, and Sunday nights. Sunday nights, there might be some issues because, there's football and stuff every so often. So maybe we'll do like a Monday or something. But we appreciate the one other person in the room right now. And we also appreciate the people that watch this after it's been live. So thank you for watching this. You're awesome. And we're going to keep doing this every week as long as Big Brother is on. So if you're watching this after we're done, leave a comment. And also make sure that you like and subscribe to the Anchor Pete channel. All right, we're going to awkwardly say goodbye to you as we end this stream. Okay, bye. Thank you.